What's up guys, this is T-Place. Today I'm going to be helping you guys travel the seas on your sloop, win your PvPs, and everything else you guys need to do inside of Sea of Thieves. Let's jump in. The first tip might be one of the most simplest tips on the list, but it is to park your boat towards the back so you can easily jump in and out as you guys please. This is for tight situations. Let's jump to the next. This next tip is a bit difficult, but you guys can get used to it easily. Now this is of course for PvPs, and what you want to do is you want to go to the ammo box, and you should see a climb ladder button in the top left corner. You can do this with the hatch open, but it takes a lot more skill. Also, it's very risky, but let me show you some examples of what you can do with this to confuse your opponents. As you can see right here, the guy was about to get me, so I revolved around to be able to reposition and get it from the back. Same thing happened in this clip, as you guys can see. I was in the arenas just messing around. This guy about had me. I missed my shot. I went over and I decided to reposition. Now this of course gave me back to high ground, and it's very useful in these tight situations. This next tip is very simple and it's really great for movement. All you want to do is jump down the ladder and press X right before you hit the ground so that you guys don't take any fall damage. This is quick and great for tight situations that you guys are going to have. So let's jump into the next. This next tip is when you spawn on the island, there should be barrels all around the outpost for you guys to loot. This should be useful so you guys can get cannonballs and different resources right before you set sails. This is also very helpful if you get attacked early game. And don't forget that sometimes when you spawn, there is a loot crate waiting for you as you go. Now this is great to start things off. And there you go guys, you are now ready to sail the seas. In this tip I will show you the most useful hiding spots within Sea of Thieves. This one is beside the cannon, which is okay on the sloop, but I definitely recommend it more on galleons. The next is one that people never expect, which is on their sails. This is very useful and can easily be a great spot that people will not expect. This next tip seems super simple, but it's very useful, especially if you're sailing on a sloop. Make sure you load your cannons right before you go, so you guys are ready for the fight. Here's a super simple tip for beginners, and that is to learn what your barrels are, get their positions, and learn how to organize them. This is very good and will help you out a lot. This next tip is very simple, and it is to go to the water barrel and shower yourself with the water. I see kids all the time go down the ladder, grab water, and go back up, instead of going to the water barrel that is directly downstairs. If you're just starting out, this is a tip you need to know, and that is turn off your lanterns. You are a beacon of light when you travel across the seas with your lanterns on. You'll notice this with other players as you begin to play more and more, but people can see you immediately if you have your lanterns on. So make sure they're off, but I also recommend that you could leave one on, maybe below deck. Bootlegging is a great technique when you need to turn around very fast, especially with the sloop. All you need to do is lower your anchor, turn the wheel to the position you need it to go, and you guys are set to turn right around. This is of course very useful instead of just sailing your sails down. This is great for the sloop. You just got to make sure to get your anchor back up quick and you'll be on the move. This next one is for hiding you guys' kegs, because I noticed a lot of new players will put their kegs in weird spots on the sloop. Although the tower can be useful, it's also a very common one that you'll see in other players doing. A very less common one is right in front of the steering wheel that most people will not expect. If someone's far away from you, put it here so they can't shoot it very easily. Also downstairs, I recommend putting it right in front of the barrels in the bed so that no cannonballs can easily shoot right through and blow up your keg. This is very useful, please use it. Next up is learning to loot and leave. Whenever you're passing an island, it's very useful to shoot yourself over, grab the resources that you may be lacking in, and then get right back on your ship through the mermaid. Of course, you got to make sure that there is no other sloops or any other ships around. Make sure your area is clear and you're good to sail back on as you collect your resources. Next up is when you grab your chest, to put it somewhere that the grapple can easily get to. Now this is great in making sure that if you have a lot of chests, put them all in one spot so you can grapple them in one by one very quickly. Now this next tip may seem a little pointless at first, but hear me out. This rowboat is actually very useful for these reasons. Not only does it give you another spot for PvP, but it gives you more storage, and depending on the boat, another cannon, which can be very useful in tight situations, especially if you have two men and there's a boat coming in on your left. You could use that cannon, both of them, to take them down. This is very useful and I definitely recommend it. Now this next tip is all about speed. If you're being chased and you just have maybe one bit of loot that could be expensive and you need to drop it off, do it. Just do a quick drop off, drive by, let your ship sail away, sell it, and get back on your ship immediately. Now this is only for tight situations. If you got someone coming up behind you, definitely recommend it. This tip is technically 2 tips in one, and it is for the grapple. Whenever you see loot in the ocean, make sure to grapple it in so you can collect more resources as you go along the seas. This is very useful in collecting all kinds of different items. Now another tip is when you're trying to get a tight turn, use the grapple to turn yourself quickly around the item or the place you're trying to get to. Very useful, definitely recommend it. This is a very quick and simple tip, and that is to put your chests in one corner so that you guys can easily get to them when you park. Now this final tip is all about positioning with cannons. Now if you guys did not know that when you hit an object to bounce yourself, positioning is all that matters with your destination. You'll see this with these 2 clips. As you guys can see, the first one I made it far, and this one my position was off, so I flew way below. You guys can use this to get all kinds of different techniques and make it to other ships. And there you have it, guys. That was my tip video on Sea of Thieves. I really do hope some of these tips helped you guys out, and if they did, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me, really helps with the channel. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the support recently. This is T Plays, and I'll see y'all next time for more.